This 10-day trend takes us almost to the end of November. Nothing unusual then in me mentioning some snow in places for next week. However, snow is not in the forecast at all for the next couple of days. It is going to be exceptionally mild. Things do turn a little colder through the weekends. Not especially so, but it will be noticeable because it has been so mild so far through November. And then through the middle part of next week and towards the end in particular, there is the possibility, that's all it is at this stage, of seeing something colder still, and that could bring some snow with it. But as I said, a lot of uncertainty about that, as we will see in just a moment. First of all, though, the next couple of days really quite mild. We've had a cold front which has brought a fresher feel on Wednesday, but now weather fronts toppling in over the top of this high pressure system will bring some rain across northern and western Scotland, but also reintroduce the milder air. And if we rewind and run through the sequence again, you can see that. So a fresher feel, perhaps out there on Wednesday, but as we head through Thursday, we'll see those weather fronts toppling in and reintroducing the milder air. So the blues and greens replaced by the yellow and even orange in places through Thursday and Friday. Really quite mild for the time of year, particularly if we do see any sunny spells. Northeast Scotland could get up to 15 or maybe 16 Celsius. But there will be rain from this weather front across northern and western parts of Scotland. Away from that, though, much of the UK looking dry for the rest of this week. Plenty of cloud, and it will be mild. Then we will see some changes, it looks like, as we go into the weekend. Now, weather fronts will have one more wiggle on it looks like, on Friday night. And then it will start to drift southwards, pushing the high pressure out of the way, and that will introduce colder air across all parts of the country by the time we get to Sunday. That weather front will also bring a spell of rain across the country, much of the south looking dry on Saturday, but there will be some rain across Scotland and Northern Ireland. And then some uncertainty on the timing because it is a waving weather front, but it could bring some soggy conditions across the south on Sunday, at least at first, before those north or northeasterly winds set in and it turns brighter with some showers, but also quite a bit colder. These temperatures are only a little below average for the time of year, but they are quite a bit lower than we've seen of late. And when you add that wind on, well, that will probably have quite an impact, especially on some of those North Sea coasts. Really feeling quite fresh, I suspect, by Sunday afternoon. What happens beyond that? Well, for that we need to take a much broader look and see what's going on around the other side of the world, bringing it back to the here and now in terms of time. But let's take a look at what's going on across the Indian Ocean, in fact, and close by to India. We have two areas of interest, two large areas of rain, enhanced rainfall, the brighter colours there, some big thunderstorms mixed in, and both these areas of extra rainfall have the potential to turn into tropical cyclones. And they also have the potential to impact the jet stream, which is currently meandering up to the north of the Himalayas. But the outflow, the winds high up in the atmosphere associated with these two clusters of thunderstorms could well push the jet stream and force it to dive further south as we head across Southeast Asia, bringing colder air southwards and meeting relatively warm seas across parts of the more western Pacific. There's also another area potentially of enhanced rainfall, another area that could potentially turn into a tropical cyclone. And the combination of these three things, so cold air coming south, hitting the warm seas, and the enhanced rainfall, could create a real burst of energy in the jet stream as it then pushes out across the Pacific. And this extra energy will then transfer its way right around the world, giving the jet stream these enhanced wave motions and really amplifying the jet stream, particularly across North America by the time we get to the weekend and into Monday. But it doesn't stop there, of course. This wave, this propagation down through the jet stream is likely to continue. I'm going to show you a slightly different view now, but it's the same thing really. This is the jet stream, the yellows and oranges now, and that's that pulse in the jet stream that we're looking at, created by what's happening across Southeast Asia, but then developing across North America. But it doesn't stop there, because we get another pulse in the jet stream over the Atlantic, getting closer to the UK. And what eventually looks like happening is that jet stream will topple so far over that it kind of creates a wave that breaks on itself, and that generates a large area of high pressure in this little archway in the Atlantic. I'll just run through that sequence again quickly. Again, you can see that initial burst, and it propagates south, and then it generates an even larger wave, that extra bit of energy, and then it topples over and creates this high pressure system. Now, there's a lot going on there. It's a big old chain reaction, but we're pretty sure that this will happen at some point next week. However, the detail of exactly where will be crucial to the type of weather that we see. It's where this high pressure system develops next week that will dictate the type of weather we see. And a couple of examples here from some of the main computer models that we look at. This is the European model and the GFS model, both generating a large area of high pressure in the Atlantic, but this one is generating it much closer to the United States and away from the UK, which generates northerly winds but out in the Atlantic. This one, however, this is the European model, generates that high pressure system from what's going on high up in the atmosphere closer to the UK, and opens the door to northerly winds and a really quite cold spell. So this is the European model for next Thursday, generating that high a little closer to the UK with northerly winds coming down, and that would bring significant wintry weather. Snow would be likely to relatively low levels across the northern half of the UK if this were to happen. But that scenario is probably only around about 25% chance of happening at the moment. It does look, though, either way, that we are in for a colder spell with snow on northern hills at least, and perhaps some to lower levels as well. As you saw, though, plenty has got to happen before that, so there is some uncertainty, but make sure you stay up to date with the very latest from the Met Office, and the best way to do that, of course, is to follow us on social media. Again, re-emphasising there's nothing unusual about seeing snow across the UK in late November, but because it's been very mild, this could be of note. And if you really like what I've just been talking about, I had a lot of help today putting this together from my colleague, the Deputy Chief, Nick Silkstone. So make sure you follow him on Twitter as well.